It's now time for Me and My Roku with host Peter Clay. Near the refrigerator?
Incidentally, this is Peter.
So we have a voicemail now from Peter.
Pete, you are not.
Not everybody sounds like Peter Clay.
This is what it's all about, isn't it?
Peter Clay is here today.
Wow. Oh, boy.
Well, hello again, everybody, and welcome to another spectacular edition of Me and My Roku. I'm so excited. I can't believe it. It's come time to do another show. We've had lots of snow, so I've gotten lots of Roku time in. Just trying to squeeze everything in. I'm getting ready for a big milestone birthday, and people want to celebrate, so we're going to pack our bags and head to some place called Vegas or something. I don't know. Yeah, I've heard about it. I've only been there a couple times, so I don't know anything about it. Anyway, so maybe we'll have a good time, maybe not. So that will have some effect on my Roku time here coming up, and then so there might be a little delay in some of the shows moving forward. But other than that, when something comes up, I'm here to report to you about my Roku and what I do so that you can maybe get some information to take to your Roku and enjoy that. Or any other streaming device, really. It's kind of almost even, kind of like the iOS, Android. You basically can do the same things, but some of them are different than others and all that stuff. So Roku is kind of a generic term, kind of like you would say Kleenex and Band-Aids and stuff like that. But on the other hand, it's just, whenever it comes down to it, I always rely on my Roku because it's reliable. And that's how I use it. So I like to come and share things with you. So lots of things going on. Got some burning questions that people might ask you if you say, hey, I have a Roku. Maybe I could ask them. Maybe I find them on a search engine or something like that. So we got that. A couple of other things relating to my notes from the previous year, just to rehash some of those, just as a refresher type of thing. New shows have started up on the streaming. New services coming to, and one, of course, is going away this week. This is it. P-Day, PlayStation View Day, goes away, and then we see what happens. So plenty to get to, so let's get started.
Beat down, away, away, away.
Okay, well, lots of things going on. And I was going through my notes that I wrote from last year's programs, usually on a piece of paper. You know, you can hear this on an audio show. Going through them, and I know what I'm trying to do on this program, because there's a couple of things I've noticed when I see people getting into streaming, and is that they're either real basic, real narrow focused, that it's Netflix and nothing else. That's my view, and you get your shows, and you binge them, and stuff like that, and you just go on, or you're trying to do these ultra complicated things and all these different things. And that might be me, and it might be just because I'm experimental at heart, and two, I'm experimenting so that I can report back on how to keep things basic, if that makes any sense. So that I know what to do so you don't have to, type of thing, what to do, what not to do, and all those things, just to make it easy. So when you go and you turn your machine on, that's all you have to do. You don't have to worry about anything. So typically, basic is the best. You really don't have anything to do. Just if you know what you're going for, go for it, and don't try to make it any more difficult than that. The only thing I will also say about the Roku is there's more out there. And don't be afraid to explore. If you're just looking, but if you don't have time and you know what you do, just go in there, get in, get out. It's perfect. But on the other hand, there's so much out there just to dabble. So I like to hear what other people are doing. And I find most people say they listen to Netflix and all that stuff. And I think, like I might have mentioned before, that, you know, Roku as kind of a euphemism, or as a brand thing, like Kleenex and Band-Aids and stuff like that. That some people will just say Netflix when they don't really mean Netflix. So explain what I mean is that there's a show called Fake or Fortune. All right, I heard that somebody was like, and they were talking about this show, and I thought, well, that's interesting. And they said it was on Netflix, and it might be, but it was also on Tubi, and it was on Amazon, and they probably saw it on Amazon, actually. So we kind of just say things as if. So sometimes I might say Roku to somebody when I really mean Amazon Fire TV or streaming type of thing. So that's one of the things. So one of the things is just to keep it basic. There's the free programming. There's the subscriptions. There's the authentication channels. There's the music channels. And you can kind of keep things all... I like to keep things organized. 3x3 type of thing. So if something gets off-centered, then I either like to try and add another channel or remove some channels type of thing. So that's just me. That's why it's me and my Roku. So a couple of the other things that are going on is you're seeing a lot of new programming coming out, like season premiere type of things. Picard, Star Trek, CBS All Access. If you were thinking about adding a channel or getting rid of a channel, or what were you going to do? Well, I don't watch network TV. Why would I want CBS type of thing? Well, they've got other channels, and now they have Picard. So if you're a Star Trek fan and an old school Star Trek fan, you might be touched in all this stuff. I'm not sure if I'm going to go carry on with the show past it, but at least the premiere was nostalgic, and there's some other nostalgic characters coming along the way too, but then also adding some as well. So neither recommending or not, it's up to you as far as that goes. But just that's out there, and plenty more going to be coming. You're going to be going nuts with all the different things. Peacock is coming out. If you're a Comcast subscriber, that will be coming out in the spring, and then just about a week or two before the Olympics in July, it'll come out to the masses. Ad-supported, and then also kind of Hulu style to pay to get ads, but also some additional programming, and then no ads. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there. So keep your eyes out. Keep it simple, but just be aware that there's more out there as well. Isn't that an endorsement? Here on me and my Roku.
Wow, 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 baby, baby. Listen to me. Listen. Got me running, got me running, got me running, got me running. You ready? You got me running, you got me running, got me running.
Okay, let's have some fun. Okay, why not? So here are some 4 basic questions that something might ask, like maybe like a search engine or something like that. When you're looking at Roku, if you're just trying to get fresh with you and your Roku, and these are sometimes some of the questions I get when I bring up, hey, I've got a Roku, and they're like, huh, you have a what? You see a doctor about that? But anyway, so let's just get some of the basic stuff taken care of. And then we can get into some of the basic channels and all that stuff. So how much does Roku cost per month? Somebody might ask you that. Oh, you have a Roku? How much does that cost? Okay. The Roku costs for the hardware. The Roku is a piece of hardware. Okay, so there's no cost after that. So you buy the product, then you have a Roku. And then you hook it up to the internet, and then you go from there. Okay? And then you can, maybe somebody might ask you, well, what channels are free on Roku? And that's a delicate question, because 99.9% it doesn't cost anything to get an app. Okay, so you can look them as apps or you can look at them as channels. It's semantics, so it's up to you how you do that. So it doesn't. I don't know of anything anymore. Back in the olden days of Roku, you could purchase an app for like $4.99 or $1.99 or 99 cents. Now the cost is in the service for the app. So if you want Showtime, well, it doesn't cost you anything to get Showtime. You just need the service then. So you either go it through the Roku or through an online service or something like that. So most of the channels are free. So what services are free? Then there's the Roku channel. And then there's also a little thing called featured free on the top menu of the Roku user interface when you first come on the menu. So, and then there's things like Tubi and Pluto TV and Stir and Zumo and Popcorn Flicks and Vudu and things along those lines. Those are channels. Crackle is another one. So those are free. But like I say, the apps are free. Then there's the service. Then for like Hulu and things like that. Also, another good free one is YouTube. Now, it's a little better if you get the YouTube Premium because you don't have to worry about commercials at all. And I have found that YouTube on the Roku, I get very few commercials on there too. So that's another free option for you. All right. So the next question is, how does a Roku work? Well, that's a whole show right there. But real simply, a Roku, once again, is a hardware device. Okay? It hooks up to your TV, and then it hooks up to the internet. And from there, it connects you with streaming channels that you choose yourself. You're in control at all times of what you want. Do you want to pay for something, or do you want stuff for free? It's up to you. So that's how basically, generally, a Roku works. It works with a remote. It has one that it comes with. Also, there is an app that you can get on all Android and iOS devices, and that works as well, too. Some depends on the model of your Roku. Some of them are quite nice remotes that also have a headphone jack, or just a basic, just general remote. Now, what channels come with Roku? It does come preloaded with some things that you may or may not want, just to kind of give you a taste. And also, a lot of these channels that charge a service give you a free trial, anywhere from 5 to 14 days along those lines. It's up to the service. So, wow. Just some basic questions that you might just get randomly from a person or from a search engine or things like that. People may ask these things, and I'd like to provide answers here on Me and My Roku. Okay, kids, gather around. Let's have a little chat. So I noticed some things that big media conglomerate, iHeartMedia, just went in and whacked a bunch of people, mostly local radio hosts, some institutions, some just guys that were just helping other people along and all that stuff, but about 800 or so, and roughly about less than 10% of its staff. But it was a glutton. It was done. So what does that have to do with this? Well, this is a podcast. This is done out of a labor of love type of thing. And so just so you know, it seems glamorous to be on the radio and all that stuff, but when you get down to it, it's only corporate. There's only maybe 3-4 major corporations coming out, and then maybe you have a state radio and all that stuff. So podcasting is here for your entertainment, just like the radio was, and you can access it just about anyhow now. You can stream it onto your radios in your car now and all that stuff. They would say that radio is there for the car and all that stuff. Well, podcasting and streaming and all that stuff is where you're at. So you're in charge. And one of the ways that's being accessed and being made available to people is through the Internet Archive. It's a very important organization, and they have been providing the bandwidth for my podcasts for over 12 years now, maybe even longer and all that stuff. And they've never asked a single thing out of me, just to spread awareness and maybe make a donation every now and then. So that is up to you. If you want to support the show personally, there's a donate page on my personal website, radioaffliction.com, which I found out that the feed still works. And I'm going through the archives myself, doing my own Internet Archive, and going through my things and setting things to a tuning radio. And I'll explain more about that later. But if you want to check it out, there's 3 episodes already available on radioaffliction.com, and that's all been provided by the Internet Archive. We couldn't do it without them. We thank them. We love them. And by we, I mean me. So check it out today and consider supporting the Internet Archive at archive.org. Okay, so in the I don't have it, but I'm going to tell you anyway category, because I get asked these things, so I don't use them, but just to let you know that they're available. So if there's just a couple more things you need to rot your brain and to keep you watching your Roku and all that stuff, there's a couple things out there. One I get asked about is Lowcast, and this is a nonprofit organization. I'm just saying that because they're saying it. There's a little bit of a gray area on this one, and there is a lawsuit involved with the major communications companies and all that stuff. But what they're doing is allowing on their app to get your local television stations. Okay, so apparently, if they're a nonprofit, apparently they're saying it's okay. Okay. So anyway, it is available on the Roku, and it's only available in 17 cities. So if you're old like me, and remember George Carlin, he thought it was clever on where to put fake vomit. Okay, so there's on the sidewalk and near a bathroom. Okay, these are the obvious places. And then he saw, near the refrigerator. That's different. That seems a little out of place. So for Lowcast, it's available in the obvious places like Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., San Francisco, Los Angeles, and then Rapid City. and Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So when some of these things doesn't fit, so doesn't work in my area, closest to Chicago, and it won't let me connect to there. So that's available if you want it. Now I don't worry about that because I live close enough. I'm technically still within the city limits, but I live more closer to a suburb, and so I still get my local channels pretty well through my through over my air TVs type of thing. So, but Locast is available on the Roku, and if you want that, if you're in any one of those cities, Denver, you're cool, and then of course Rapid City, South Dakota. So, another one is Hoopla. Now this is a different thing. I don't know exactly all the things that are available on it. I see it on the Just Watch app, and if you don't have the Just Watch app, that is a nice little tool to have on your either tablet or phone, just to know I'm interested in one little show. Where can I get it? Type of thing. Is it available for me? Type of thing. But Hoopla has free programming on there as long as you connect it with your library card. That's a neat little trick. So there's programming available. So just like lending something out at a library, they do the same thing, type of thing. So check that out. If you have a library card, check out Hoopla, and that'll give you a weekend's worth of things to get accomplished then. So, and some people have also asked me about the Internet Archive since I talk about it on there, and they provide the bandwidth. Do they have a Roku channel? And technically they do, but it's a private channel. And I've talked about private channels before, and especially way back when I first started the Roku, because that's how you actually got the good stuff. But I don't dabble with that anymore. And as a matter of fact, with the Internet Archive, I'm Chromecast. What? Nothing. So, yes, the Internet Archive is available as a private channel on the Roku. And it's a little hard to go through. So it's best just to go to the archive itself and either on your computer or a tablet or something like that and experience all there is. Because there's actually a lot of written material as well for that. So, there. Okay, comings and goings. Coming. As I mentioned earlier, Picard, Star Trek. I may try Star Trek Discovery again. I watched the first season. It was kind of how I've been feeling about the latest Star Trek endeavors. It's kind of a thanks but no thanks. There was millions of Vulcans, and I don't know why we always have to go back to one family. But hey, that's just a story. It's okay. This here seems kind of branching off a little bit, but you have that main character, and he's fabulous, and we'll see where it goes from there. So CBS All Access is still on board. We are frantic right now going through some of the stuff that we have on Amazon Prime right now, because we have only like 4 or 5 days left in a preview, and we are in season 5 of a series that had 7 seasons. And so thankfully the 7th season is a half season. So we're binging away at full steam ahead. One other thing I mentioned the Just Watch app before. There's a lot of things I've noticed on Amazon Prime. It's great not to have commercials and all that stuff. Also, probably a better video quality as well. Not always. Tubi has some good stuff. Some of these things that are available on Amazon Prime are available on some of your free things like Tubi, and I've just noticed that in Vudu and things like that. So keep an eye on that too. So Prime never goes away, just as far as the service goes. I have bought movies and videos and stuff like that. I buy Doctor Who, and so we can watch that on Amazon Prime and stuff. And I buy movies on there from time to time when I have credits. So that's going. The Fox Sports Go app. Football season is over for the most part. There's the Pro Bowl left and the Super Bowl, but those are on local television type of deals. I may keep the Fox Sports app. I don't want to go through the whole differences between the two again. Disney bought part of them and then sold them off to Sinclair, and Fox kept the rest, FS1, FS2, and Big Ten Network and all that stuff. So that app I'm keeping for now just to see about the big game. It might be in 4K, but as I've mentioned, going real soon is PlayStation View. I have no choice in the matter. I don't really want it to go away, but they say they're not going to do it anymore, and I'm taking them at their word that January 30th, that's it. And we'll just see where I go from there. I may not do anything. That's the plan right now. I've looked at all the networks that are available on PlayStation View, have their own apps, and I've got Hulu, and a lot of those things are available on demand type of thing. So I may be fine. But golf season's in force. We'll see. So Fox Sports Go for sure is gone until I decide what to do as a replacement, because baseball season's coming up and the Major League Baseball blacks out the local team here. So we'll see what goes on there. So anyway, that's the coming and going for me and my Roku. I hope you're enjoying you and your Roku as much as I'm enjoying me and my Roku. Special thanks to archive.org for their support of this podcast. You can subscribe to this podcast. You can do it, and it'll just get dropped because you never know when I'm going to do it. Sometimes I do it on Wednesdays. Sometimes I do it on Saturdays. Sometimes I do it whenever I feel like it because it's a podcast. You may subscribe to the Me and My Roku podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Spreaker, Spotify, TuneIn, YouTube, iHeartMedia, and Radio.com. Follow me on Twitter at Radio Affliction. I go in spurts, so I'm either going all out or I'm unavailable at times. But just check it out, and then maybe if you respond or ask me a question on there, I'll say something. At Radio Affliction. Or if you want a little more direct line, questions or comments or anything like that, email me at meandmyrokupodcast@gmail.com. I hope you enjoyed the program. I enjoyed doing it for you. So until next time, enjoy you and your Roku, because I'm getting back to me and my Roku, and I'll be back with you real soon. I'm going to go on vacation. I'm turning a half century, so I'm going to go party it up a little bit just to see if I still can, and then move on with life after that. So anywhere after the first week of February, I'll be back in the saddle again, getting back into my Roku, because I may have to recover for all. So I'll see you real soon.